doctrine. It was intended as a positive alternative to the materialistic celebration of Christmas in the black community and the negative values which the blend of Christmas and capitalism brought to our community. It was not intended as a form of Christmas peculiar to African people. Maulana Torenga offered two reasons for the creation of a ceremony such as Kwanza. First, to provide positive images and events with which African people can identify, and second, to allow us to determine for ourselves the holidays we celebrate. Now, there are traditional roots to celebrating the arrival of the first fruits or harvest. The Kwanza ceremony, as we know it, is unique to North America. We can say then that Kwanza is a celebration inspired by the African continent, but whose content is a product of the African situation in North America. Kwanza is otherwise known as first fruits. African people have traditionally celebrated the first fruit or harvest. Tribute was given to the collective community and to the other. For people of African ancestry on the continent of North America, the celebration of Kwanza is an act of self-determination, and that we, as a people, break away from having everything down to our holidays dictated to us. Kwanza is a time when African Americans on this continent come together and celebrate our achievement of the past year, as well as reaffirm a commitment to collectively struggle in the new one ahead. From December 26th through January 1, the African People's Action School strongly encourages the celebration of Kwanza. If all the things which make up the way we live, our music, work habits, family life, spiritual beliefs, etc., were to be placed together and considered as one, the result would constitute our culture. Each of us share a common history, and we find that as African Americans, no matter where we are, we must all wage the same struggle for the same rights. Kwanza is a cultural observance. It's a product of our experiences in North America, and its character is a reflection of the struggle we wage against the conditions in which we find ourselves. Kwanza is a time to reaffirm our beliefs and understand the significance the 7 principles, better known as the Nguzo Saba, hold for us. Kwanza is a time when we reflect on the importance of our families to the strength of our nation. Kwanza is a time when we offer our strength to our children so that they, in their turn, will build stronger families for a stronger nation. Kwanza is a time of cleansing our bodies and our minds so that when we begin the new year, even more determined. We have set here a Kwanza table. The symbols that I will be describing are in Kiswahili. I will also translate. The mkeka, or the straw mat, on which the other symbols are placed. The mkeka represents a strong foundation which is necessary for the nation building that must be done. It is placed on a low table or the floor. The kanara, or candle holder, it's placed in the middle of the mkeka. The 7 candle holder is symbolic of the original stalk from which man came into being. The firstborn was like a stalk of corn, which continues to regenerate itself as we regenerate. The mhundi, or the ears of corn. There are as many ears of corn as there are watoto, meaning children, in the house. The stalk of the mhundi symbolizes the father of the house. If we correctly educate our children, then we will be assured of an eternal life and nation through them. Then we have the kikombe, or the unity cup. This is a large cup filled with juice from which every member of the family takes a drink. After every member has drank from the cup, libations are poured to the earth, as we have had done already. We must all stand and say Harambe 7 times. That was something which should have been done when the libations were poured. So everyone, stand, please. 7 Harambes. The last Harambe you hold until there is no more breath in your body. Are we ready? Let's count 7 times for Harambes. We raise the arm and pull the fist down. Moja and Billy Tatu. Harambe! 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 Now! Drop the feeling! Thank you. As I said before, after every member has drank from the cup, libations are poured to the earth to honor our ancestors. We do this out of respect for the family and loved ones that have gone before us. It is said that we will always succeed in life as long as we remember the ones who have paved the way before us. The Karamu, or feast. It's prepared for the 6th night of Kwanza, December 31st. It lasts for most of the night and is contributed to by all members of the community. It consists of food, drink, music, conversation, laughter, and ceremony. The women come together and decide what is needed. The men make the provisions. The children can help with decorations or in preparations of the food. The zawadi, or the gifts. It's given on the last day of Kwanzaa, January 1st. They are the gifts for the watoto, or children. Zawadi should be something both inspirational and educational. The watoto should be encouraged to express their commitment to our nation and the spending of money in our own stores. Now, let's find out what these 7 principles are. Seven principles, would you please come on the stage? You're shy.
I think they just picked people that was watching. I got a close-up one too.
All it is trying to do is just break it up. And then get up the line. That is Christmas alive.
Excuse me, some of the students aren't here, so we have to ad-lib it, and they should know the principles anyway. On the first day of Kwanzaa, you're greeted with Habaragani. Your response should be,
What do I do then?
and a candle is lit for that day.
Some of them principals.
On the second day of Kwanzaa, you're greeted with Habaragani, or what's the word? Your response would be, the third day of Kwanzaa, you're greeted with Habaragani. The response for the day should be, and the candle is lit for that day. On the fourth day of Kwanzaa, you're greeted with, and your response should be, a candle is lit for that day. On the fifth day of Kwanzaa, you should be greeted with, the response for that day should be, Kwanzaa, we're almost there. You're greeted with Habaragani. The response should be, and the candle is lit for that day. You're greeted with? Your response should be? And there you have it, the 7 days of Kwanzaa. Music, we have for you a piece by the name of Lamba. It's taken from West Africa. Lamba is a very spiritual dance. You will see a lot of movements that are done to the heavens. This is in tribute for our ancestors, to our ancestors. Lamba. Kwanza song written by Mama Pat. Moja and Billy Hatip. Is Omawale here? Yes, here he comes.
I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I'm sure everybody had a marvelous time. Let's give everybody another round of applause. After such an astounding performance, it's a hard act to follow, so I'm not even going to try to do that. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and hope everybody gives to the Kwanza spirit, and we can put ourselves on display and see what we can do when we affirm ourselves and give affirmation to our culture, our identity, our history, and display the fine staff that we have at the African People's Action School. I would like for all of our teachers to come out. Please, teachers from African People's Action School, would you come out, please? Everybody on the staff, please come up. We need to know who's responsible for this. We have Mama Dino. She teaches some of our preschoolers. She coordinates the children's theater and the dance group. Mama Dino. We have one of our teacher aides, Mama Aisatu. She does a little bit of everything. She's also with the preschools most of the time. We have one of our new staff, Mama Leslie. This is our first year here. Mama Leslie teaches our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. We have our drummer instructor, Brother Cosby. He's the one that teaches the brothers and sisters how to drum. Then we have our secretary, the one who answers the phone and does a little bit of this and a little bit of that. She's sort of like an all-purpose person. We have Mama Wine. And we have another new staff person. We have 2 new staff persons this year. We have another staff person, Sister D, Mama D. She teaches in the preschool. the Watoto, the African People's Action School, and anybody else I might have forgotten by mistake. You know, you really have to have been around the African People's Action School for the years. We've been around for 17 years. To appreciate what has been done here today, you would have 17 or 18 years ago, a lot of people thought this was a crazy idea to start a school like this. But you can see with determination, when you are determined and you know that you're traveling in the right path, you can see what can happen. Even though we're satisfied with this, we have a lot more to do, and the only way we can do it is that you have to continue to support us. How can you support us? Not by just saying how much you enjoy what we're doing, but you have to come out. We need work and we need money. Therefore, we appreciate what you're doing here today. So whenever you see us do something and you feel that it's a worthy cause, please come out and help us when we're doing it, because we only have your interest at heart. At this time, since we're going to be closed for the remainder of this third trimester, and since our teachers have done such a marvelous job